in this piece, practice going from the first bar to the second bar in the following way. So missing out the individual single notes and just playing the two chords. That's the two notes that are played together. E and C, G and D. And try and get used to the movement from E and C to G and D, and be able to go between those two chords in a very smooth way. When you're doing that, make sure your left hand thumb is nice and low, and that it stays nice and low, right in the middle, roughly behind the middle finger, and flat, of course, up and down, not like this. The idea is that the palm of the hand is underneath the guitar and not gripping the guitar like this. And also try and get from one chord to the next without too much movement of the hand. Try not to go from this to this with all that elbow swinging. We want the fingers to do as much of the work as possible. One thing I would recommend is using the pinky on the 3rd fret for that second chord. The pinky instead of the 3rd finger. Very often, if you're a younger person with smaller hands, or even if you have fully grown hands, the stretch of 1 to 3 in this part of the guitar, where the frets, the metal bits, are very wide, can be too much for the hand, and we end up with a funny hand position like this. So to avoid that, and in order to prioritize having a good and correct hand position, use the 4th finger. Now we come to bars 3 and 4. Again, as with bar 2, use the 4th finger, and also be very careful to alternate your fingers. And this is quite difficult because your left hand fingers are doing one thing and your right hand fingers are doing another. I would recommend beginning the bar 3 with the middle finger, the M finger, and then alternating between it and the I finger. So M, I, M, I, M, I, M, I. And I'll do that again at that speed so you can practice along. In order to assist alternation, it can be good to take the left hand out of the equation altogether and just play the open strings, the strings that you would play with the left hand, but without the left hand. I'll do that again. And now slowly for you to practice along. And the last thing I want to draw your attention to are the 4 bars from bar 9. 2 things to remember here. The first is the rest in bar 10. In fact, bars 10 and 12. We have a D note on bar 10, a crotchet with a crotchet rest. Very important that you use your left hand thumb to stop that string from ringing beyond the rest. So the effect is this. Rest. Rest. Then the other thing you may have noticed there is that the second time we play that, it's just a repeat really. So we have bars 9 and 10, and then 9 and 10 are repeated at bars 11 and 12, but repeated quietly. You'll notice the dynamic marking is piano, whereas at bar 9 it was forte. So from loud to soft. So it's very important to observe that in order to get, I suppose, if you're doing the exam, full marks, but much more importantly, to play the piece as well as you possibly can.